Hello friends, today we're going to be diving into the hot topic of how to become a high-ticket closer. Have you ever wondered how much a high-ticket closer can make? Or maybe more importantly, how do you become one? I've worked with thousands of high-ticket closers over the last 20 years, and I've seen probably some of the best out there, and I've seen some that are not very good. And I want to impart with you my wisdom on how you can become a high-ticket closer. Now, I've seen high-ticket closers that have made well over hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the amazing thing is the difference between those that are crushing it and those that aren't are usually just subtle little things that can be taught and implemented. That is exactly what I want to show you today as we dive into the meaning of a high-ticket closer, to what they sell and why, even down to the strategies and techniques that set them apart and really elevate those that are the best in the world out there. You ready? Let's go. So what is a high-ticket closer and why is it important? A high-ticket sales rep is a sales rep that does just that. They sell high-ticket programs. And they're usually pretty vital to organizations, right? Because they bring in quite a bit of revenue. So they're an important figure in the talent that you want to maintain and keep and foster and grow and improve. And you want to model other sales reps after what they do. I mean, think about it. It's kind of an interesting skill that somebody has. They're able to talk to somebody who wasn't planning on spending any money, but all of a sudden through a series of questions and conversations, they're able to take somebody who wasn't planning on investing anything into a program that might cost $5, $10, $15, $20,000. That's an absolutely unique skill set. That's why they're rewarded so well for doing that. And these individuals are vital to your sales organization because they know how to do that and ultimately drive a lot of revenue to your business. I remember my first foray into sales, and I had done sales before, so I picked it up pretty quickly, but there was an individual who came, never done sales. And I remember he'd moved from another state to where I was at. We were working in the same sales organization, and he struggled from the get-go. He had never done sales, didn't understand the nonverbal, metaverbal communication. He didn't understand the right pitch, the right way to approach people. Interestingly enough, he devoted so much time and energy to this craft that he got to be one of the best sales reps I've ever seen in my life and ended up making a ton of money in the industry, doing super well, and he's a super high quality individual. Now let's talk about what strategies you need to employ as a high ticket sales rep. Now that's always an interesting question because people who do high ticket sales, high ticket closers might be in different industries. But the strategy that I've always seen work best to bring in high ticket closers is question-based selling. Now, what does that mean? Question-based selling is really asking the right questions, leading somebody down a path that helps them make a decision on purchasing something, right? It varies from maybe product or service sales or low ticket sales because a lot of times those are sold on what? Features and benefits. Now, for a long time, I was on the door doing sales, door-to-door sales for a pest control company. A lot of times I could get to where I was speaking with somebody, but at the end of the day, I was describing features and benefits of the product or service that I was offering. And really that's what kind of got people excited. Now, obviously, all salespeople understand the psychology of sales. They know how to close sales. They know how to drive people towards that buying process. But a high ticket closer uses a different strategy than just simply features and benefits. They always use question-based selling. And to be a really good high-ticket closer, there's a ratio that I really like to look at, which is this. If you're on the phone and you're prospecting somebody and you're driving them towards an ultimate sale, you need to be talking about 25 to 30% of the time. The client should be speaking 65 to 75% of the time, right? What does that mean? It means that they're doing the talking because nobody wants to be sold, but everybody wants to buy. And at the end of the day, if the prospect can sell themselves, that is a much stronger sale, and that's usually how the sales take place. It's them coming to the realization based on questions asked that they want to move forward with this program. They feel this program, based on how they've responded to those questions, is the best thing for them and their situation to move forward. So let's talk about how it's sold. Typically, to be a high ticket closer and to sell a high ticket program, we've usually viewed it as a two-part sales process. There's the consultation portion of it and the close portion. So the consultation, it really is just as important as the close because you're asking questions. You're finding out where they are, what they need in their life, where they want to get to, and see if we can bridge the gap. Now, during that process, you're also asking questions that dive specifically into what they're doing currently in their life. What is it that's driving them to maybe potentially look at investing into something that'll get them towards their goals and their dreams? Now, if you can make a bridge in that gap, or if there's a chasm of where they are and where they want to get to, that's usually better. And if they come to that realization themselves through answering the questions you're asking, even better. And then by the end of that consultation phase of the sale, there should be certain commitments that they agree to, that if they keep those commitments and really agree to it, it should move forward in the sales process. And if they don't, if you can agree that, hey, either yes is okay, no is okay, maybe it's not okay, you have a basic understanding and you can either move forward or part ways as friends. Now, the close portion of that sale really is reiterating their situation, where they are, where they want to get to, and help them reiterate those commitments. And if you can continue to ask those questions that'll drive interest and excitement in a potentially new venture, those people move forward. But once again, it's through questions. It's question-based selling. It's them determining that by answering questions. They are doing most of the talking. Now, one thing to fully understand when it comes to be a high-ticket closer, you have got to raise the emotion of the person you're speaking with, right? We usually say people buy an emotion and justify it logically afterwards, right? The reason somebody goes from not wanting any interest in what you're doing to after an hour or a couple of days appointments to buying $5,000, $10,000 worth of education is because they are emotionally attached to that product or service, helping them get to where they want to get to. It's very emotion based. So how do you pull out the emotion? Well, you've got to ask a lot of why questions, right? So why do you feel that way? Why do you feel like this can help you? And then even going deeper, now I hear this in your voice, tell me a little bit more about that. Now, if you ask surface level questions, you're going to get surface level answers. But if you can ask some questions that actually go down into the surface, you're going to be able to pull out that emotion that eventually is going to take these people to a place where they want to purchase. They purchase based off of emotion, and that's where we need to get them to. So asking questions that go below the surface, why, tell me more about that, is really the key to getting there. One last story. There was a book that would require all high-ticket closers to read. It was called The Closers, and it was by a gentleman by the name of Ben Gay III. This guy was awesome. I saw him speak in person. I've met him. And that book was phenomenal. If you want to learn to be a high-ticket closer, you've got to read the book, The Closers by Ben Gay III. Now, it was interesting. We had told one of our reps about it. He didn't have the book, so we handed him our book. He called the number off the back. Guess who answered the phone? Ben Gay III. Now, the person, the sales rep, had just started with us, newly married, didn't have any money. After that phone call, about 45 minutes later, he comes back to us and says, hey, how did it go? Did you order the book? What took you so long? And he says, I was actually on the phone with Ben Gay III. Not only did I buy the book, but I spent $200 on other programs that he has, right? And so Ben himself was an example of a high-ticket closer, and that person invested $200 that maybe they didn't have. He put on a credit card, but ultimately, that was one of the best investments he made because he ended up being a high-quality sales representative, a high-ticket closer, and make really phenomenal money. Now, these are strategies we've employed in our business. This is what I've seen to help people become a great high-ticket closer. I'd be interested in your feedback. Please comment below. Let me know what you think. Also, as always, I'm giving you a free gift. I've got a sales course, a 12-part sales course. It's called Persuasion and Influence. It's 12 parts. Each part we usually offer for $100 each, but we're giving away for free. Just click on the link below, aaronsSalesTraining.com, and have a great day. Thank you.